Okay,
goodness.
okay, that's quite all right.
But we want to know
Let's see.
your opinion.
Um, no surprises so far. Just as you said, I think I heard you correctly. You said that um, Joe Biden had won Virginia, and that's not surprising. And of course, we expected Bernie Sanders or Senator Sanders to win Vermont. North Carolina, the polls are just closing here. I think it was a high turnout primary, and we're looking to see what the results will be pretty soon, I think.
We're also looking toward the central time zone where the polls have not yet closed. And the state of Alabama in particular, which has a very, very large black electorate. How critical is it for, well, everything's critical for Joe Biden, but for Bernie Sanders to make some sort of a move there?
Well, it will show that he can sort of make a dent into what Biden has identified as his firewall. And what I mean by that would be African American voters in the South. We saw how he did in South Carolina. I suspect he would do well in North Carolina. And I think he's really counting on African American votes in Alabama. Now, if Senator Sanders can make a dent into that, then he will really show that he could put a coalition together that could be very successful in the general election.
Are you seeing African American voters seemingly voting together, or are you seeing differences in age differences amongst older African Americans and younger African Americans, or does it seem like it's pretty unified the way the African American vote is going?
Well, as we always like to say, African American voters certainly have common interests, but they're not monolithic in terms of their in terms of their political opinions and how they cast their votes. And it seems that the younger voters in the African American community are very attracted to Sanders and to Elizabeth Warren, whereas older voters have a tendency to support former Vice President Biden.
That is what we're seeing.
Yes, that is indeed what we're seeing. But my next question, I mean, I'm going further down the road here, Doctor. A brokered convention, is it possible that we might see one? A lot of people think that, well, maybe Bernie Sanders, that's his only route to win, and Bloomberg the same way with him to winning the nomination. We haven't seen that happen since 1952, but is that a possibility in your mind?
Quite obviously, it is a possibility, especially when you have somebody like Bloomberg who is able to stay in well beyond what a regular candidate would be able to do because of his war chest and the resources that he can call on. And I think that Biden, what we see going on with Biden is the party solidifying around him. And so a brokered convention is very, very possible. And just as you said, I think Bloomberg especially is counting on that because that is his only way to victory, I think. Whereas I think Biden as well as Sanders, it is possible for them to come to the convention with the 1991 delegates that they need in order to capture the nomination.
He is Dr. Jarvis Hall, in fact, North Carolina Central University. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your insights. We appreciate your time.